So I wanted to show off a quick little project I just have been messing with. For the longest time I've wanted some sort of pack ghille or pack cover for my Helicon Bergen. I've got a solid color Bergen, so having something to kind of break up that solid color as well as the outline of the pack is a pretty good idea, I think. There's a bunch of them online now for sale of things like this, but I really didn't want to spend the money that a lot of them were asking for. I'm not saying that they're probably, they're bad or anything like that, or the quality's bad or whatever, but I just didn't want to spend that kind of money. I don't have that kind of money to spend on stuff like that. So I was looking through some of my storage containers of, just like scrap materials and camo clothing and stuff like that, and realized I had some artillery netting left over, and I didn't realize I had that actually. So I looked at it, seen how much I had a pretty good little chunk left, and I came up with the idea of just making my own, and I think it turned out pretty well. As you can see, it covers the pack. Let me bring it in a little closer. It covers the pack completely, and I haven't had any issues with it coming off. It just cinches down here at the bottom with one of these little cord locks, and I just all I did to make it was I took the pack and I laid it on the ground. I laid the pack down on the back, threw the artillery netting over, and basically cut around the pack. And I left probably, I don't know, about that much around the whole entire outer edge of the pack so that I had some give, a little bit of play. And did that. I cut it around it. I took some paracord, scrap piece of paracord. It was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 foot long, and weaved it through the netting and put the cord lock on it and tied a simple knot, and it works. The Helicon Bergen, what works really good, the way it works on this pack that is kind of convenient, is right here on the top of the Helicon Bergen. This is where the shoulder straps go in. This is where that plastic frame sheet is, and you got a little bit of a space here, so that paracord just kind of goes right there around it, and then goes right around the outer edges of these outer pockets, and of course zip ties it, or not zip ties, but cinches at the bottom. There's a couple little bare spots on here, like right here, but it's not really bad. I still have a few pieces of like this right here that I'll probably cut and put on there, and probably will do it a different color than these, just to kind of break it up a little more. But so far it works pretty good. It's more green than brown right now, which the environment I'm in, it's not necessarily a bad thing this time of year, or during the summertime anyway. But I probably will maybe tone it up or tone it down with some brown spray paint, just so it's not just nothing but green. But even then, it still breaks up the outline pretty good, and it doesn't look like a pack. And it's not overly cumbersome or anything like that. It's simple to make and not a lot of money. Like I said, I got some more artillery netting, or some scrap pieces that are small, that are this browner color. I'll probably put a few pieces of those, some small pieces in and around it, just to kind of break it up with it getting on in the winter time, or fall and winter, so that when everything's dead and brown, it'll break it up a little better versus the green. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of this was, I hate to say hastily thrown together, but it literally took me all of, a few minutes to make. So it's not perfect yet, but as sort of a idea to experiment with, it's working pretty good. I've had it out now a couple times, and so far I'm liking it. I've hit it a couple times and walked away from it just to see how it does, and it does pretty good. I'll roll in some footage too here at the end of me wearing it and walking with it on, from both yesterday and from today, as well as a few pictures of it sitting off kind of in the distance, so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really see a need in paying what some of these other pack covers are costing people, when I could just make it myself. So if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend a bunch of money, and you can get a hold of some kind of netting material, you know, even if you just go to like a hobby store or something, you can make this dirt cheap. Some netting material, piece of paracord, and a cord lock is all it takes. Don't have to overcomplicate things. Sometimes the simpler things are, the better. And this, to me, in my opinion, is one of those cases, because yeah, it camouflages your pack, but you're still going to need to get into your pack at some point. And fortunately, the way this kind of worked out is right here at the top, there was this little slit, so I can still actually get to my top compartment up here, which has a few things that I might want quick access to. So, you know, if I'm got my pack laid down and I don't want to take my netting off for whatever reason, because I might only be stopped for a few minutes, but I say, hey, I need, mosquitoes are tearing me up right now, for example. I can just pull out my mosquito spray and I'm good to go. So it was kind of happenstance that this little slit was up here, but I figured with the slit being in there, I could put this up top, put that slit more to the top of the pack, and, you know, give me quick access to at least one pocket. So maybe this will give you an idea. Hopefully me rambling on about this didn't go on too long, but maybe this will give somebody an idea of something they can maybe try or maybe make themselves, and not have to spend a bunch of money on, you know, something that's really kind of simple, I think. But yeah, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. I've got another update on something if you go back and watch my older video of mine, I can't remember the name of it, but it's something like the camo rag poncho or something. I've got some updates I've done to that too here recently, and I plan on doing a separate, I was going to do it in this video, but I'm going to do a separate video on that, because I think it's worth talking a little more. So hopefully I can get that video out within the next week or two. It depends on how things go in life. So, but yeah, again, if you have any questions on this, please let me know. All right, guys, I just want to show you real quick kind of what this pack looks like walking around it. And there's this bush right here and this bush right here that it's laying underneath, and it's really not a very thick bush, but I'm gonna step about, I don't know, 8 or 10 foot away from it. And if you stash this thing in the correct spot and really camo it up, or, you know, camo it up and throw some branches on it or whatever, if I threw some pine straw on it, that thing would really be hidden. Again, this is just throwing it right in to a little bush, and as you can see, it's not a big bush, so it camos it up very, very well. Really breaks up that outline. And again, if you properly plan where you're gonna stash your ruck for whatever reason, you can really keep that thing hidden.